Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot I'm recording, screen recording. So I decided to make this easier on me and you. I like to write, so just ignore everything else. But we're gonna go to where my dreams are. Now, this is my dream design. Only some of these are not. They're not real. They're fiction. All right, because I use it for my writing. But I'll go to the ones that are. Now, the first one I don't remember. They're very quick. I do write down my dreams because I heard that it was a good way to spark creativity, and it helps you write. I like writing fiction. I'm trying to write a hard fiction right now. But anyways, this one was something that I can't remember. I can't remember some of them. So I forgot one. I only remember the smell of cinnamon and seen incense. I vaguely remember that. And this one I do remember. This was a long time ago. This was in 2004, 2005. I was in San Benito and people were outside lying on the yard of somebody I used to know. And a woman said, I'm sorry, it's supposed to say, she said, another missile is coming to bomb the city, and they all began crying. So that one was a weird one. That was when I was living there, I think. Yeah, I was also in Mexico, so I had one in Mexico where I was digging something for the cartel, and I escaped somehow. But there's a bunch of desert. And then there's another one where I felt like I was in Mexico. Me in Mexico with somebody I used to know from school a long time ago. She was pissed off about something and my dream ended. So mine are like real quick. Me in Mexico with my uncle. That's Theo, my uncle. My uncle Sergio telling me we are going to go eat at a place called OK Pizza. That's another one. I don't know. These are just all my dreams though. Some are prophetic though. This was the one that I just recently posted up about the dragon. Okay, I had this one about the dragon. This was the one I just posted up. And this was another one. I was riding in a car with some girl after leaving the Westlaco Cinema. This was when I was in Georgia just recently. I just got out of a job from Georgia a few months ago, and when I was there, I had this weird dream. So I was riding in a car with some girl after leaving the Westlaco Cinema, I believe. Somehow we ended up in the neighborhood on Border Street, further down towards the closest convenience store after passing Gibson Park. There's some convenience store there in my hometown. We got out the car and stopped near someone I know little. I knew him someone. The girl driving began coughing uncontrollably. I didn't know the girl either. I don't know who she was. And got out the car as soon as I got out and made my way towards the driver's side. I began coughing too while Juan, the guy I knew little of, came around to do something and realized as I approached her spot outside the car and started coughing in and outside my dream. After he said something, I had woken up. So, okay, I kind of write sloppy, but that's because I'm trying to get my idea down. I don't forget it. So, yeah, I do forget real quick. And then I'll remember later. It's a gray afternoon. I'm walking towards a familiar hotel that I dreamt about 4 times in other dreams. I don't know what hotel it is. I do remember this one's different. I do remember the first dream was me being told I can stay in one of the 2 rooms and they're usually open. This was me sneaking in one of them that was dark, dirty, and had no working lights, and the fridge was full of food with a possum walking around. I let the possum out, make myself a peanut butter sandwich, and then somebody tries to reclaim the hotel room. Then I have these weird dreams. A very dirty, okay, this is just a design though, part of it is. But, yeah, it's kind of design. Very dirty toilet paper, wet restroom, and many urinals and stalls open to an office building. People just taking craps in front of people, like taking calls. Or maybe a store with people shopping with a bunch of large cafeteria tables in front of them. I don't know why this happened. This one was a real dream, though. Because sometimes they're kind of confusing. I remember more clearly, it was much more like a gym restroom, but with a bunch of restroom toilets built together in the middle. Very unorganized spacing within the restroom stalls. Some were like, I don't know, rumbusque of, square, like messed up squares or something. They weren't perfectly stalled. One side was kind of more inside, and you got to probably squeeze through one of the restroom stalls to get out. It was just completely all off. The building, the architecture was just messed up. So, I don't remember this one. I don't know what that one is right there. This is something I kind of have every now and then. A fence to a property cutting through a road, but has a gate access. Maybe, okay, so that's something that I'm using it to write. This is something that I saw. So some of it's, I need to remind you, some of it's fiction. Both small booths in front of my houses on their front yard abandoned, blocked by diamond wiring fence or wooden fence. And some of those, the barricades that they have on the train, I have that. I see that. I've seen that actually. I've actually seen it. I almost see it with my naked eye while I'm awake. So that is very strange. This one right here was very strange. In front of my house, in front of other houses, there's also some like architecture coming out. On one of my neighbor's house, it looked like part of the fence was coming out, or he built a door in a very weird part of the fence. You know how you usually have a front door, back door. This had its own little side door, maybe somewhere's on the corner or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But yeah. I walked to an empty hotel room at night and a bunch of monitors suddenly began displaying my face. I remember this one. And I didn't elaborate on as much as it was, when I initially wrote it. Because I had forgotten a lot of it already. But that's why I immediately write something down if I dream it. A voice said that they are on to you, Paul. You need to leave now. Some street lights hadn't died here yet, and they carried my flight through a long, dark pathway. Maybe there were apartments since there was probably more walkways. There was more fencing than needed. I didn't mention that in the original one. I knew to run. My bones were tingling with fear and excitement. I ran around, and not before long, I noticed a mysterious person, woman or man with a black wig and sunglasses, chasing me through a small outside hotel complex on the walkway. It appeared to continue chasing me for quite a long time. Its face wasn't natural when in darkness. It looked destroyed, and he or she was very fast. The streetlights brought an image of a very cold and pale spirit of a woman wearing sunglasses. I kept running and running until several shots flew past me. That's right, I also remember that, man. And made it over an impassable fence to a woman for some reason. And I appeared floating away. She appeared, she was pissed off, okay. Then there's these small ones that, several large factories going towards Elsa on Texas Boulevard. Overpassing Texas Boulevard or some type of chemical plant. The ones that you usually go out there whenever you're making your way from here to San Antonio or something. They got a whole bunch of lights. It looks like a city almost. But yeah, there was, they had an overpass. It was going down towards Elsa. Me around in my house, my Peña house with cardboard boxes. In that world, I believe there are small booths on the side of the streets and residential properties. Okay, so that's something else that I looked at. Yeah, well, Horn, I was looking into Cardboard Box and Cartoon Network had also been seeing it light on TV. Okay, anyways. Wooden fence cutting through my old neighborhood street on Peña with only a gate door accessible after Chonita's house. So this is what my neighbors, there was basically a wooden fence cutting through my neighbors on my old street where I used to live. And it's somebody I know, one of my old neighbors, and it appeared to be, further out there, but something had told me that it was her house. That's her name. She's a very old lady. I think she passed already. Something told me that it was on her house when I woke up. I don't know what it was. And I do also remember another one. And I just remembered it. It was kind of a funny dream, though. I can still hear him talking when I wake up. Sometimes I can still hear my dreams talking when I'm... Anyways, there was another one, a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. I used to talk to him a lot. We all called him. He has a nickname. We call him Yo-Yo. Telling me we're at war with gunshots going off in the background from the Big Lots area. And there's a big expressway behind his house. A big open field and expressway. And yeah, on the other side of the expressway is a business store, a plaza with a bunch of stores. Me and my old house with a minivan in the backyard with prisoner window grills on it. As I ran, it sped up and kept going so until they caught up to me. Obama, some old bitch, and another old fart arrived out of nowhere, and I slapped all three of them with one slap. And the old bitch informed me that I did not have to be so mean. There's another one. A bunch of people and cops running towards me in a mall, I think La Plaza Mall, from something, and screaming. The police appeared to be very frightened. That was like in 2012. Me and my uncle, Daniel, and some other people at the Donna Baptist Church in the dining area. Somebody immediately comes in a panic and informs that a bunch of people are on their way and something very awful is going to happen. I don't know what. I only realized this because my uncle, with a terrifying frown, forgot how unhealthy he was and ran like he was fucking 20 years old, almost crashing into shit. I've never seen my uncle run like that in my life. he can barely do anything for himself now. But this dude just ran. I don't know why. He started knocking everything out of the way. Bunch of people were just running. I don't know why I was running though. And I woke up. A dream where my dad remodeled the. Okay, so this is kind of weird though. I should have. Okay, so he had a lot of females, but it was kind of funny. And there was this little girl across the street that was somehow it turned into some Lifetime gay TV show. Because my dad was a very good man. He was actually a pastor, at least from what I know. But I mean, he never said, I never bothered him. From what I know, he was a good man. Though I had a weird vision after waking up. Two of the shadows of women in front of me. My dream in the backyard with a spaceship flashing red, blue, and white. I made fun of it, calling them American aliens. Now, this was a vision. I was awake. This was a vision. I was awake. He had made fun of it, calling them. I had made fun of it, calling them American aliens, and made fun of the language that which they spoke would be American, not English. But later on, it was revealed that the water tower sported the same lights on election 2017 seen from the backyard of my house. And I later find out that there is an underground theater that may be leading to an underground tunnel complex. Weird. A large house completely covering this neighborhood. A large warehouse completely covering the neighborhood I'm currently in right now. When I was living in the apartments on the other side of Texas Boulevard. That was a vision. The adult daycare center that I had first seen in my dream as a place for auction for some type of business. And was asked by a girl who I used to know if I was going to pawn my PS3. I said yeah or maybe. Was the same layout and location in real life that I had never seen before at first. Never seen before. I only saw it in my dream. I do a lot of EVP too. So I heard zombie. After doing this EVP, I heard a zombie while waking up from a dream of me walking on the corner near Westgate and 18th Street. A message I kept receiving on my ghost box, Westgate. Yeah, I kept receiving on 2.5. It was another version. Me speaking to a creature in some place which their walls looked like an old 3D Doom type video game, and the creatures as well. We went back to Earth to the Walmart near my old Benya house. Any cheap minivan again. The same minivan that I think I was trying to arrest me. Through some warp tunnel by two people I used to know in some room watching a video, and then we were back in the minivan. We're back in the minivan somehow. And was told with a group by the driver that we got 1 hour to get anything we need. Food, snacks, cigarettes, no alcohol. One of the passengers complained that the driver was going to go get drunk. Why couldn't we? And I was trying to convince one of the passengers that we should just take off, forget this, and go smoke some weed. He refused. I don't know about that one. I don't remember that one that well. I remember in the backyard, this is an interesting one. This might be prophetic. I remember in my backyard, but this was a long time ago, in my Benya house, I used to smoke out with a guy from San Benito. His name was Orlando. He never gone to my Benya house maybe once or twice. We were in the back and looked up and saw 3 planets eclipsing and blowing up. We even heard the explosion echoing through our planet. It was very loud and very terrifying. Yes, it was. I just remember a dream. On the other side, in that dream, I'm also doing ghost box sessions. Me and my dad never discuss things at all. We appear to have a better relationship as father and son. In the dream, I received the name. In the dream, I received the name Marianne on the ghost box, EVP EMF, clearly, and then woke up. This was a world, and where this is another dream that I had. Okay. This is what I believe, because it's felt like the same. This world where some dude named DJ Jump, don't know who this is, or if he ever existed, rave existed in the city park, and I asked my mother for money, but instead my dad insisted on giving me money. Very weird. He would not do that. I was going outside, some guys got off the bike, ran up to my house, and knocked a machete out of my hand. One guy that kind of looked like Kirk Fox, bartender from Still Waiting, brown complected, hair to his shoulders, mustache, and one bad eye, told me, come here. We had no fence on our property, so we managed to walk on, which we do here. We have a fence here. Okay, we have no fence on our property, so we managed to walk around the corner where my AC is, and he told me, you know it's on your head, right? And I woke up. I walked to a church service ending based off scripture, the Bible, which was the old Jehovah Witness church in front of the Sunrise way back in the day. So back in the day, we had a Jehovah Witness church at this restaurant that people, I mean, it's been there for so long. And they ended the service by asking their members to join at the Triple City Ballroom, where we would give service to our Lord Satan. With me was a familiar face built, so I have to, okay, and a bitch, okay, so I'm sorry about this. A bitch I fucked a long time ago when I was 14. She still had the prettiest and cute TNA. She was all over the dude. She was all over the other guy. And we got into his shitty car that transformed into a nice truck somehow. I got off the intersection between the Chinese place and took a trip down the parking lot to get a fish plate. I don't know why, something told me to get off. Some seafood place so some seafood place was in the place of the Chinese place. This is an old one. I'm seeing stars through my room. This one was weird. Okay. I was seeing stars through my room. Through my roof. In my room through my roof. With my eyes closed, and as I opened them, I was seeing my room again. And again, I closed them. Stars only, twice. I felt as I had to make sure I was still in the room. Kind of felt like I was falling in the ground or like I was in space or some massive body of water. I think before there were glow-in-the-dark stars. I can't remember, but I think they were only in the closet. I wonder if psychologically they can... Okay, that's just me. Sometimes I see orbs of light with my eyes closed while going to sleep between the two abandoned small houses across the street. Different colors, and have seen them with naked eye leaving through the walls, but notice no car light moving. Or do I remember? I don't remember. I could be a car. Mean a fence barbed wire areas and kind of walking in midair over the fence. I just remembered that one. Okay, this one was weird. I was in some penitentiary, and there was a plan I had devised between jobs and some prison complex to escape it, and had to do with a chow hall job and going back and forth and doing shit. I don't remember what I was doing. 2-story house in the middle of nowhere, right in front of dirt roads, tall grass. So it was like a 2-story house. Up here we have a bunch of shrubbery and like mesquite, stuff like that, cactus, and so it was like in the middle of nowhere, somewhere like that. And inside it was a chapel, and there was a lot of people there dressed in Sunday attire to go worship, and I don't know what they're worshiping. And they were eating an offering of strange meat on toothpicks passed around the offering tray. It tasted like semi-dry burnt cartilage with no flavor. Me in a prison transport bus, unchained as a civilian. Somebody named Abraham I used to know from Harlingen was there. We made for a pit stop, and he had his head out the window taking pictures with a smile as if on vacation somehow. Several guards in military head cover sweatshirts similar to PC alternative camouflage were a parade rest formation along the side of the bus from the entrance. I was worried, troubled, because I was building up the courage to run. And I did. I kept running through an open baseball field and park into coming apartment projects with 10-foot fencing surrounding complex. I knew the second I looked back was a second loss, and I did anyways. They were right behind me. I kept running, climbing the fence, and had barely made it and woke up. Me and some shitty little one. I do not remember this one. This one I do. Riding with 3 black dudes smoking a blunt near the high school, and people buried in body bags with a biohazard sign on them, and people in environmental protection suits. And it was by a gas station. The gas station near the Westaco place. Yet there was still children with backpacks waiting to go to school or getting off the bus, which was actually further down the road, and there's nothing there. I mean, it's only a college campus, so somehow there were still kids there, and there were apartment complexes. We ended up driving down the expressway. I ended up at some building alongside it, and many people were still in some panic, as some people were having boils grow out of them. One suggested to put a Nutella on your boils, and I thought it was very funny. Then I was chased by hillbilly TDC guards tossing drones in the air with lethal weaponry. Okay, there was also an inmate TDCJ uniform setting up an inmate in TDCJ uniform, so there's an inmate setting up bleachers, it's all white actually, to watch beheadings. Deandra, which was somebody I used to know, was one of the one that was going to watch the beheadings. Many train cars suspended in front of a tunnel to a collapsed bridge, and young males taken there to be tormented by an executioner in the desert. Executioner from previous dream above. Pale dark figure, hair, a shoulder. Okay, this was a vision I had. Pale dark figure, hair at shoulder length in white robe holding a two-edged sword with one hand. The white robe towards the bottom looked like it had been in mud or something. It was very stained, but it was like a pale, like palish dark. She had black eyes too, and it was holding a sword out. Its hair was shoulder length and had a white robe too, a sword out. A bunch of people, that's when I was like, yeah, like 2010 or something. A bunch of people eating at some place near my house, by my old Peña house, which is here in Westaco, another neighborhood. Has fields now with offices. They were under a tent, like a cemented pavilion, open pavilion, and was informed that we were heading to the university to take refuge from the soldiers coming from the north. This one is kind of bothering me. Someone is telling me I'm bothered by colored people. They said they're dancing around me and calling me names. I had a dream these stupid colored beings came out of nowhere and started doing some shit that Elvira bitch for scary movies came out and was doing something at Lupita's old house, which was she's my neighbor on this. Oh, they're colored people that came out the television. I remembered she said that while laughing. Red, blue, green, and yellow. They're colored people from another dimension is what I believe she said. Okay, so I did all of this. Those are all my dreams that I can